Oh, great. Okay, so we are live, and then you can watch the replay of this session. And for those of you that are just joining us, this is my birthday edition of a live career focused question and answer session, a Q&A session. In this segment, you get to ask any career related question, and I would answer them. Subsequently, of course, you will continue to see messages or opportunities to learn a thing or two from my humble self in the future. Right. Thank you so much, Inasa. Yes, it's my birthday. And I'm happy that I'm able to give back today to as many as are on this call and as many as watch the replay version of this session on YouTube. Okay, so we'll go right into it. There's been a couple of questions in the past that people have asked, and you might have come with your own question, career-related question, that we could take in the next couple of minutes. One of the questions I've received, and a lot of us what I've seen, is about the scarcity of jobs, right? Yes, we're in Nigeria, and people say, oh, there are no jobs, there are no jobs. How do I get a job? I've met a couple of young people, fresh graduates, just people that just concluded NYSC, and they're saying, oh, there are no jobs, there are no jobs. First of all, it's a mindset question, it's a mindset issue. There are lots of jobs. As I currently speak, there are not less than, I think, 5 vacancies that I have in my organization. There is a platform where we give back to the HR community. Every day we get job advertisements, right? So there is a lot of job. It is just that there are few people whose skill fits into those job specifications. For example, this morning, someone, I sent a job ad to someone that says that they're looking for a CFO. And I said, oh, I have a candidate for this role. And when we found out, oh, there's a particular requirement that this candidate doesn't have. So there are jobs, requirements, skills, right? Competencies might be lacking. So the next question is, how do I then get the competencies and requirements for these jobs that are available? How do you, first of all, you would need to know the kind of job you're looking for, and then identify the kind of requirement that the hiring manager is likely to be, asking for. Talk about requirements. When you identify the requirement, you would give yourself a bit of time to either, of course, experience requires time. Most organizations are requesting for experience. So you will give yourself time to get those experiences. And then someone will ask me, so how do I live? How do I earn a living before I meet the requirements? How? So I suggest that you will find other alternatives pending when you get that which you're looking for. So a little story, about myself. Today I do human resources. I didn't start my career as an HR professional. I started as an investment banker. Yes, you say investment banker, that's a big name, right? I know I was an investment officer. I was going to stock exchange. Sometimes I would go by bus, sometimes I would trek to go and register some stock certificates, do some stock verification. It was not a high-end job. It was quite low level. In fact, I was a contract staff when I started my career. So it's possible to start small. It might not be your dream job at that time, but you will start with, where you are, from where you are, so that you can earn a living and then sustain yourself, so that you can get into what you want to get into or what your dream job is. So you may not really have to start with your dream job, but you would find something to sustain yourself pending when you find your dream job. And while you're finding your dream job, it's important that you don't let it remain as a dream. You will have to carve out a vision for the kind of job you want to do and how you are going to attain that vision, right? I was having a conversation with a young friend of mine, and we're talking about, what kind of job are you looking for? And they said, oh, any kind of job. You've heard that before. Some of us still give those kind of answers. Any kind of job is no job at all. So my counsel is usually to identify 2 or 3 options of a job that you can do, right? That some of the qualifications or the skills you have right now would match, so that when you see those vacancies, you can compete favorably. But if you're saying any job, you would not even be able to strategize and find the kind of skills or requirements that those job need or those employers would need. So it's important to identify the jobs and then envision how you want to get into that job. Some of us get into our dream job without envisioning. And I'll tell you, some of us, we say, oh, this person, she had it all together and she had it all planned out and all of that. It's not true. Someone like me, I wouldn't say I had it all planned out. I didn't have it all planned out. If someone told me that I was going to be doing HR today, I would not even believe, because my vision, my dream was to be an investment banker. I studied economics and education, and a lot of my friends were going to banking, but I was clear from the word go that I wasn't going to go into banking. I was going to be an investment banker. So my plan was to study stockbroking and write stockbroking exams. So yeah, I'm here. I didn't have it all planned out. I didn't have it envisioned. But I know some of us on this call are Christians, you're believers. One thing is sure: if you know the person that knows the pathways, that knows the way, or in fact, you know the way, the Bible says that Jesus Christ is the way, right? The way, the truth, and life. So if you know Jesus, you know the way. And if you know that person that is the way, your pathway will be made clear. So I didn't have everything all planned out. So I started as an investment banker. And today I found my passion in helping people, in supporting people. Yes, some will say I'm a people person, so I'm going to do HR. You don't have to be a people person to do HR. And in fact, if you're a people person, you can be an MC, you can be basket mouse, you can be anybody else, even if you're a people person. But you've got to know what exactly your purpose is, why you are here, and then you would be able to find a channel to express that purpose. It all doesn't add up from the beginning. That's the truth. So if you're feeling confused today, feeling confused right now, you are not in a bad place. It's normal to feel confused. It's normal to not be sure of what to expect. Okay? So it is to take one step at a time. Today, you want to be a salesperson, you want to be a marketer, fine. What does it require to be that? And then get the skills, get trained, body up with someone that is a bit ahead of you. And that would help you to, continue to channel your pathway to your desired destination. I'm still looking forward to some of your questions in case you have questions. So there is a question here: how easy is it for one to get a work from home kind of job, and what kind of job can this be? Beautiful question. Since COVID, or even pre-COVID, there's been a lot of jobs, a lot of companies that are embracing hybrid working. And then there's the upgrade to remote working. There are lots of remote employment, remote jobs these days. One of those kind of jobs can be a virtual assistant, for example. You could be a content writer. Any work that you can do without having to physically show up, right, can be a work from home kind of job, can be a remote job. However, if you are that person that love to do a remote job, that love to work from home, you really have to be an organized person. You have to be able to plan your time and work with minimal supervision, Not that, oh, they would call you to join meetings or remind you of meetings that has been booked into your calendar, or that they will remind you to reply your emails and all of that. So you've got to be someone that's got a hold of your time. You can manage your time effectively, then you can opt for a remote job. Now, in what climes do you find these jobs? Some of them are available in Nigeria. A lot of them are globally available. There are a lot of jobs that do not have work site. In my organization, there are lots of jobs that could be done remotely or in a hybrid mode, for example. But outside Nigeria, there's a lot of job that you could do remotely, and there are no culture intricacies impacting such jobs. For example, in Nigeria, you want to work remotely, you want to work from home. It means you have power supply. It means you have a good space where there will be less interference when you want to work, where you can focus. It means that your data supply is intact, and it should not be a problem. No, I don't have data today, I don't have data tomorrow. So you've got to have all of that sorted so that you can comfortably work remotely. Now, there's a story I'd quickly like to share. During COVID, I have a friend, she's still a very close friend. Most companies went into remote, and then they switched back to hybrid, and some are fully back to 100% in person. This person shared with me, she's a very senior professional in the HR space. She shared with me they had to sack some people because they mismanaged remote working. So you find someone, you're calling them, they're in the market, there's a noise here and there when it's supposed to be work hours. Those kind of situations sort of bastardized the remote work, especially in Nigeria. So yes, there are remote jobs in Nigeria. There might not be as many as there are in lots of developed countries. If you follow me, or I think there's some of my colleagues here on this chart that you could check in with, would share some remote links to remote jobs online. I think I'll make a commitment to share that on my LinkedIn page. You will find some links to remote jobs. What other thing you could do is you can Google search. You could set a reminder and set an alert, job alert, on either your LinkedIn profile or any of those job search apps, that you would filter and search and set your kind of job to remote the kind of jobs you're looking for. So like I said, remote assistant, content creator, sometimes brand managers. You could actually do your brand works off-site remotely. There are lots of jobs that you could do remotely, but it also depends on the culture of the company or the type of company it is, right? A lot of digital jobs can be done remotely. Okay. Call center management. Yes, even before COVID, they were being done remotely. So those kind of jobs can be done remotely. Okay, so there's another question here. I currently work as administrative manager, and I'm also writing CIPM exam. My question is that how do I transition as an HR professional? Okay, yes, great question. And I love the fact that you're already on your pathway. Being an admin manager starts you out, right? Yes, in the past, HR was seen as an admin job. But the HR of today is no longer an admin job. HR has been separated from admin, right? HR is now more of not just a business partner. They are now culture officers, culture managers, people and culture directors, chief people officers, So their focus is now on talent management, people management, culture management, organization design, So that might be some big English, right? But in the traditional sense of things, especially in Nigeria, you still find organizations that will combine HR and admin together. And it is fine that you're already doing admin and you're already writing CIPM exam. This is a great thing. How you transition into HR would be to continue your training, and then as an admin manager, where you are working, it's a good place to start trying out your HR experience. You can do that by volunteering to the current HR team if they have an HR team. If they do not have an HR team, it's a good opportunity for you to start to volunteer for the organization to set up an HR department. There are a couple of items or resources you can read on how to start out an HR department. There are some blog write-ups on HR of one. That's being an HR person, one HR person for one organization. You are the only HR person that organization has, nobody you're reporting to. You have to chart the pathway and all of that. So you can do that. There's a lot of resource out there that you can read and also start out. The truth is you cannot know everything at once, and you don't have to be an expert for you to be an HR professional to start out, but you have to be very hardworking and a learning person. You have to keep learning, keep connecting with HR professionals, and deploy whatever learning you have into the organization that you are currently working, whether you are the HR there or not. If there's an HR department, like I said, you can connect to an HR department. Okay, great question, John. What tips do you have for creating a standout LinkedIn profile that attracts job opportunities? Great question. Okay, a standout LinkedIn profile is one LinkedIn profile that you can call all-star rated LinkedIn profile. There is a way that LinkedIn rates profiles. If you go to your LinkedIn page, I really wish I could share right now, but if you go to your LinkedIn page, you check your profile, you will know whether there's a rating top the middle of the profile where you see your profile summary. There's a rating there that LinkedIn gives you. If your profile is completely up to date, they would say it is all-star rated. It means you have your contact details listed, you have job experience listed. There are features. There are features that you have to fill on the app and make sure that it is complete. That's one thing. Now, the content on your LinkedIn profile is another thing. I mean, you could fill a form and fill anything into it, right? And LinkedIn, it's an AI, so it gives you an all-star rated, even though what you have written into it is shabby. So what you write into your profile is another thing, right? If you check maybe my Facebook, I've done some Facebook live sessions in the past that sort of shows you how you can do this. I'm not sure if they're on my YouTube channel as well. You could also check if you find some of those ones, but I've had sessions in the past that speaks to an optimized LinkedIn profile. You can do these things by yourself. You don't have to pay anyone to do it. Sorry, I do LinkedIn optimization. I charge, but it's been a while I did that. The time is not even there, and I'm not spoiling the market for people that do it. You can pay someone to do it, but at the end of the day, the content they put in there, right, is got to be your content. You would have to be the one to write about your skills, your experience, and all of that. And sincerely, you do not have to have 5 years, 3 years experience before you have a LinkedIn profile. One other thing that you can do for your LinkedIn profile to stand out is to carve a niche for yourself for what you currently do or what you want to do. And that takes a lot of courage, right? To go out and say, okay, this is what I do, and then I'm going to be writing content on an ongoing basis for this. You don't have to announce that. But what you can do is to start researching, right? Start learning about that career path that you want to chart, what you want to be doing. Learn about it. When you learn, whatever you learn, you can share on your LinkedIn page. So when you share, people begin to read about that, and people begin to know that it's an area of interest for you. There are a lot of young people who even inspire me, right? On LinkedIn. They don't really have to have great followers at all. You don't even need followers. You just need to use that platform and express the knowledge that you are gaining in your private space. So if you do not have content in you, there's really nothing you're going to be sharing. But you can actually learn it. You can read up, you can research, and then share the content of what you have learned on your LinkedIn page. In that way, you begin to become visible. People begin to know about you. Like I usually say, LinkedIn is your free platform to advertise your brand. You don't have to pay for it. It doesn't have to be a premium account for you to be able to communicate, right? And when you do that, you can share the link on your WhatsApp status. You have a lot of friends on WhatsApp, they will see it. You can ask them to share out. It begins to make you visible regarding that particular content area or knowledge area that you stand for. I've seen shoemakers on LinkedIn share about their jobs, right? What they do. I've seen seamstresses, fashion designers, tailors on LinkedIn. So you don't have to be high-end professional for you to have a profile on LinkedIn or to be visible on LinkedIn. In summary, know what you stand for, know what you are looking for, and then begin to create content for that which you stand for. I hope that answers it. Okay, so if there are still more questions, you can bring them on. I'm happy for this session not to go beyond 30 minutes. If there are other questions, they can come up. Another question that usually comes to mind or people usually ask, right, is how do I get interviews? Oh, I apply, they don't invite me. I apply for jobs, they don't invite me. I've done more than 1,000 applications. I'm not getting called for interviews. First of all, no recruiter has a negative mind towards you. They don't know you, so they don't hate you. Your CV is what will determine whether a recruiter will call you or not. And one thing I've always said, in a bid to get interviews, do not lie. Do not be what you are not. I've had a situation in my past where I was in this recruitment and it was a health and safety role. And the guy used his former boss's CV to apply for the role. And the boss also applied for the same role. So we got two CVs that were looking alike. We're like, okay, but two different names, two different addresses, two different phone numbers, but the experiences and all of that were almost the same. You know, don't do that. You will get caught. Do not put experiences that are not yours on your profile. But there are ways that you can couch the experiences you have that would make you attractive to that recruiter. If in the first place you are applying for a job that you are 80% qualified for. And this is my position. You don't have to be 100% qualified for the job, but if you have up to 80% requirement, you can apply for that job. And then couch your CV in a way that wants the recruiter, that will make the recruiter to want to see you. And in this case, you would speak in numbers, speak about achievement. Do not copy and paste a job description on your CV. It doesn't make sense. Pick your job if you're currently working, and it's a great place to start from. The job you do right now, what achievements have you recorded there? It could be what you have used your initiative for. It could be one support you have given on a team. It could be what project you've been on, you know. And that takes me to whatever job you are doing today. You have to be conscious that you are adding value to the organization, not that you are just cashing out on salary every month or every month end. You must be adding value. If you are adding value, you would then be able to sit back and think through the value you are adding and then couch it, write it in a certain way. Every job I do, every job, and I mean it, every job, every 6 months, at least every 6 months, I sit back to think about the job I've done in the past 6 months and highlight what my achievements are. If I have not an achievement, I'll have to rethink my work. There is no way in 6 months that you have not achieved. And that will sort of help you to um, be conscious about adding value. There's been, when I pick up a job, I usually would plan my next 6 months and say, okay, what and what do I want to do based on the understanding of the company and the job and the need they have in the organization. And then based on that, I work. And thereafter, I can then highlight the things I have achieved in numbers, in a quantifiable manner. All right. Thank you so much. Adebayo, it's great to see you here. You have a question, right? I guess. And you can unmute your mic and I'll take your question. Then we'll take the next question from John.
Good morning. Happy birthday, Mama Faith. This is Commemorate.
Thank you. I know, Comrade.
I saw your status and I said, I must join this birthday groove. I just wanted to say happy birthday to you. Happy 40th birthday. You're special. Thank you for, let me expose you. One, I invited you to my church like last year. And man, till today, people still keep coming back to say, please bring Mama Faith back. Please bring her back. Please bring her back. And also, thank you for also being our client at Phillips Outsourcing, Kimberly Clark. We love you. We love you so much. Happy birthday. I promise you. I promise you. I told you on WhatsApp. Send me location. Let me come and
Don't worry.
Do small dance.
I'll just tag you.
Much.
Don't worry.
Happy birthday. I love you.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for the platform and thank you for the kind words. That's so sweet. Thank you. Wow. That's quite beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so John, what skills and qualifications in general do you believe are essential for succeeding in smart jobs? This is a smart question and I love it. Very smart question. And I mean that. Yeah. Skills and qualifications in general. So I can take general skills, right? Qualifications, maybe a few that we can talk about, right? So to start with qualification, I can think about project management, for example. Project management is one skill that can be deployed in virtually every job. Project management, how to manage projects, how to put projects in phases, how to projectize your career, how to projectize the work you do. So project management is a very great qualification that you can go for to sort of build your competencies, yes, but maybe your to improve the confidence of recruiters in you, especially if the work you're going to be doing. I mean, there's hardly any job that you really don't need project management experience. There's a Scrum Master program as well that, I mean, also an aspect of project management that you can also consider. People management. People management is a very solid training. I don't know if I'll call that a qualification, but these are trainings that could help you to position yourself, because there's nowhere except, I don't know, even managers, even engineers that manage machines or that run machines would actually have to brainstorm with people, interact with people. So people management is one training that you can go for. Emotional intelligence. You could get certified as an emotional intelligence professional, if you would say. There are trainings in that aspect that could also help you. All of these trainings, right, sort of culminate into skills. So qualification is one thing, paper certification, qualification is one thing, but I do not believe in paper qualification that does not translate into skills. So you've got to have skills that are being sharpened from the qualifications and trainings that you are getting. You understand? So it's important that whatever training you want to go for, whatever qualification you're going for, you would have in mind the kind of skill that you want to acquire while you're going for that training. You don't just go for training because you want to get a paper certificate. No, there has to be something that would be impacted into you because of that training, because of that exam, because of that certification, right? So then when all of those translate into skills, I think that helps you. But if I'm going to identify certain skills that you could think about, problem solving skills, it's needed everywhere in the world. There are lots and lots of problems in the world. If you have the grit for approaching problems and solving them, you are one of the people, one of the talents that the world is looking for. And if you do not have that, you can learn it. You can read up on it. You can study about problem solving and how to build up that skill. First step, I mean, for me in problem solving is to be able to see the problem. I train my children in the house. I tell them, do not wait for me to tell you what to do before you do it. Use your initiative. And that means you're looking around for what is not in the right shape, what is not great, right? And then you want to make it great. What is not working, you want to make it work, right? That's problem solving. It doesn't have to be one PhD inclined problem, right? From little things that you see every day, how do you solve them? How do you fix them? That's problem solving. If you look at people and the challenges they are facing, and then you think of how to help them to make it easier, that's problem solving. In your organization, the things that people complain about, right? If you think about it, how can you fix that? How can you solve it? That's problem solving. It's one great skill that we all need. And interestingly, this generation, we're talking about my emotional wellness, my emotional well-being. Oh, I can't take this, I can't take that. There's the resilience that we all need. There's the grit that we all need to face difficult situations, to manage difficult people, right? And all of that, they add up to who we are becoming as professionals, and then makes us attractive to organizations, makes us attractive to hiring managers. Okay, I hope I've been able to help on that. Now, all of the skills, yes, are essential to succeed, right? Skills, qualification, attitude, very important when it comes to succeeding in any career, whether you're a builder, you're a mason, you're a cleaner, or you are a director, a sales director, HR director. I mean, from the list of positions you can think about and to the highest, you need the skills, right? To present yourself as that professional that organizations are looking for. Okay, so I would wrap up in 5 minutes. If you still have any questions, you can put them up. And while you're thinking about that question, I want to leave you with this. In any job you find yourself doing, whether you're volunteering so that you can get that job you're looking for, or you're even at home waiting for that job to come, be your best self. Continue to get better every day. Look for ways to get better, either gaining new skills or doing what you have always known to do it better. Let your hands not be idle while you're waiting for that job. Do not sit doing nothing. And sometimes I engage with people and I say, oh, you're looking for jobs, so what are you doing right now? This is nothing. No, don't be sitting there doing nothing. I've once interviewed someone very long time ago, and I was asking them what they did. And what they did was to stay with their dad in their shop, their dad's shop, and to help attend to customers. That was so heartwarming. Did they get the job? Yes, they did. And is it possible they didn't get the job? Yes, it's possible they didn't get the job. But they would have made an impression. And if they continue that way, there is no how they would be idle. Eventually, they would find something. So do not sit idle, not doing anything. You could even volunteer for a church, work for someone for free, find value to add somewhere while you're waiting for that job. Number 2, do much more than you are being paid for. Whether you're volunteering and you're working for free, or you're working and you're being paid, no matter how much that pay is, make sure that you're going the extra mile. Every time you do much more, you get much more eventually, because God doesn't owe anyone. And when you work and you work as unto the Lord, the Bible says that whatever you do as unto God. When you do your work, you work as if you're working for God, and you go extra mile. It's not your employer that will reward you. It is your God that will reward you. And he always does reward. A very young friend of mine shared with me some days back. She says, oh, she has just, her salary has just been tripled, more than tripled. And she was so excited telling me, she's like, oh, I'm so happy for all the things you used to share with us at work there. I mean, this was my former workplace. She's still so much connected to me. She was so happy sharing with me. And I just remember telling her, always do much more. God doesn't owe. It can reward you where you are, and it could reward you somewhere else. It would always reward you. So whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Do much more than you are paid for. Eventually, you will find something better than what you're currently doing. Awesome. Thank you. Oli Hill, living without doing nothing is dying without knowing. Yeah, it means we're just depreciating. So we've got to continue to do something and add value and keep getting better. All right, Chinasa, please, what skill or course can one acquire to grow his or her business? I love this question. It simply tells me that you're already an entrepreneur. So you've got to find, first of all, like I've mentioned, people management is one thing. You need to learn how to manage people, even if people are not working for you yet. You need to learn how to manage customers, how to manage your stakeholders. That would help your business to thrive. It will also give you peace of mind when people mess up. Your people management skill will help you cut people some slack. Your people management skill would help you understand when people disappoint you, right? However, it will also help you to demand more from people. You would identify what they can do and then demand more from them. So people management is one thing. You also need to learn sales, how to sell. If you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you have to, you are not an MD, you're not a CEO, you're a salesperson, you're a sales officer. You have to be able to sell your business without having to hire a salesperson. So first, you are your number one sales professional, you're your number one sales manager, you're your number one sales executive. You've got to learn how to sell. So you have to train, get skilled at selling. If you have not been, don't say, oh, I'm not a salesperson. I don't like selling. I don't like targets. Me, I don't like targets, but I've got to learn how to sell to people. I'm not a business owner. I work for an organization, but I've got to learn how to sell my organization to talent so that they can work with my organization, right? I've got to learn how to sell my own brand, right? To professionals, especially where I currently work. I'm really happy that I got that job. I was able to sell myself to them. So you have to be able to sell. And there's no end to the kind of skills you would, learn when it comes to growing your business. You have to connect with people, connect with like minds, right? There's a Faith Foundation in Nigeria, an organization called Faith Foundation. They train entrepreneurs every year. I think they have more than one cohort every year. Find out about them. If you're a woman, there's WIMBIS, there's some trainings they do, a lot of that you can connect with, and also use that network to also sell what you do. When you join this network, let your focus not be that you get to know people, connect with people, and then the value you offer will then start to seep through, and of course people will buy into your value. This looks like a good place to stop, right? I want to say thank you to all of you for joining this session. You will get the link to the replay. Please share far and wide. As many as watch the replay and get blessed by it, it will be my joy. That would be you also giving back to your community, sharing with um, your friends, and be a blessing everywhere you go. Be a blessing. Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, very well said. Only God knows your worth and is able to reward your labor. Yeah, God is our employer, exactly, through your organization. So beautiful. Remain faithful to God in your work. And so thank you, Oli Hill. I love your comments, very engaging. Thank you, everyone, for this session, and thank you for showing up. I look forward to your greatness. I look forward to you attaining your desired height. And of course, God granting you long life. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And a big thank you to HRPL, right, for sharing their platform. Thank you.